You were practising in quite a number of areas. You had a number of practice areas, administrative law, for example, and that included things like statutory interpretation, administrative appeals, tribunal work, etc. In those days, many of the other women barristers that I'd interviewed told me that women barristers were generally expected to practice in family law. How did you get around that?
Everybody has to do some family law when they first come to the bar because that's junior work. A lot of it's junior work. And I did for the first few years. But then the new Act came in about the mid-70s and I didn't enjoy that jurisdiction at all. And I just said to myself, I'm not going to learn anything about this new Act. I'm just not going to do any more family law. And I didn't. I managed to get some criminal briefs. That was for the prosecution. That was another advantage of my father being so well known and respected. In the early days, motor car accidents. That was what Bob St John was mainly involved in. He did defendants' work. I was lucky enough to get plaintiffs' work. The Commonwealth Crown Solicitor was very good to me. I did work for the State Crown Solicitor. I did prosecution and defence in criminal law. The administrative law came a bit later, I think. I suppose when you've got more experience, the statutory interpretation needs a bit more experience, and that came in the later years. I had an amusing experience in the licensing court. The licensing court and workers' compensation were very blokey areas. It was considered there was the blokes' provinces. But I did get offered one brief in the licensing court. And after it had arrived, I got summoned to the chambers of a very senior member of that court who said to me in no uncertain terms that in the licensing court I had to charge more than was normally charged at the bar. It was exorbitantly more for licensing work. Well, I didn't, and I never got another brief in the licensing court. So the word, I think, must have got around.
That is amazing. But with hindsight, though, you would have charged more?
Oh, no. It was exorbitant. The fees were absurd.
I just wanted to return to a point you made a moment ago. You said you didn't enjoy the family court jurisdiction work. Can you tell us a little bit more about why?
Oh, I think just the bitter relationships between sparring partners, husbands and wives, and the custody battles. I just didn't enjoy that one bit and got out of it as soon as I could.
You were,
and I respect those barristers who can take that on. It's very tough.
You were then, of course, a mother.
Yes.
Did it in a way cut to the quick to see some of these custody disputes?
Yes, just that between husband and wife, they ought to be able to behave better, and they don't. By the time they've got to court, they're just sparring partners. I think settlement, conciliation is the far better way to deal with family law matters, wherever possible.
I interviewed a retired silk not long ago for the New South Wales Bar Oral History, and he referred to the jurisdiction as being a place where bastards and bitches prospered.
A good description.
Yes. So going along with your early experiences, and I know that you had some mixed early experiences, I believe there was a district court judge who was impressed after one of your appearances before him in the city, and he apparently recommended you to a country solicitor for his circuit work, but the solicitor's response was anything but favourable.
Well, that's right. The male solicitor, a country solicitor, said, well, yes, on that recommendation he would indeed like to brief me, but it would be impossible because the barristers that they briefed to the country town always stayed with him and his wife and family, and there was no way that his wife would want a female barrister to come to stay.
Was she imagining you were harbouring a garter under your wig and gown or something?
I don't know what she was imagining, but clearly I don't know whether she thought I was competition or whether she just was so used to having the male she didn't really know how to handle a female guest. I don't know, but that was that.